new season in the Vanarama National League, and football clubs all around the country are preparing for a 9-month, 46-game marathon, taking in footballing outposts such as Barrow, Dover, Gateshead and Torquay. And as always, BT Sport will be at the heart of the action. As well as our weekly highlight show, we'll be bringing you more live games than ever before. And our coverage starts here at the Gallagher Stadium with Maidstone United against York City. Maidstone are a classic Phoenix club who had to start again in the lower reaches of the Kent League after going bust and dropping out of the Football League in 1992. Jay Saunders' team won the National League South Promotion playoff final last May, edging out Ebbsfleet in a dramatic penalty shootout. It was their third promotion in 4 years. York are managed by the former Celtic and Scotland defender Jackie McNamara, who took over last November after spells in charge at Partick Thistle and Dundee United. McNamara was unable to stave off relegation from League Two after a hugely disappointing season and has completely rebuilt his squad, bringing in 19 new players for the club's second spell in English football's 5th tier. It's the first game of the new National League season as we bring you promoted Maidstone United against relegated York City, and it's exclusively live here on BT Sport. The 12-week wait is over. It's been 83 days since the last bit of action in the Vanarama National League, and this lunchtime we kickstart a new campaign here in Kent. And with us to watch the game on BT Sport is Kevin Davis, Chris Hargreaves and Adam Virgo. Adam, you're going to be with us throughout the season again in the commentary box. How much are you looking forward to the new campaign and casting your eyes on the new 6 teams we've got? Yeah,
I think it's a really, really exciting league this season. And Natalie, I feel that it's so open this year. It's such a hard league to call with the new teams that have come down and the teams that have come up. But I still feel that, Forest Green for me will start as favourites. But again, it's such an unpredictable league.
Well, as you say that, Chris, I mean, you know this league inside and out as a player, as a manager. It is notoriously a difficult league to be in and to get out of, isn't it?
It's one of the toughest, it really is. I think that if you don't speculate to accumulate in that first season and get out, you lose that parachute money. It becomes, as we've seen with so many old clubs, so difficult to get back in. You either have a revolution and get a whole new squad in, or you stick with them and say, right, put it right. That's what's happened the last couple of seasons. But it'd be interesting to see how York do, because they've had so many faces in. It's just a tough task for anybody now.
Kevin, last season was the first that you've spent not playing, and you spent a couple of games with us after being in the top flight of football. Was there a big surprise to you, or what was the biggest surprise to you watching the National League last year?
I was impressed by their overall standard. I must say, what pleased me most was the likes of Braintree and Dover getting into the playoff positions, these part-time teams, and having not played at this level, I was impressed by the professionalism, not only of the professional teams, but the part-timers as well. I'm really impressed the way they conducted themselves. The managers, people like Danny Cowley, were outstanding, what they got out of the players, and I think the overall standard I was really impressed with, and looking forward to a new season, of course.
It is a glorious day here, and it's going to be the first game that we've seen in the National League on a 3G pitch. We're going to talk more about that in a little bit. Well, if you are new to the National League here on BT Sport, then here's a little taste of what you can expect.
Sunshine so warm upon my face, and I find that there's no sweeter taste.
It's a sensational goal! He's in here! And he scored!
Cloud9, cool breezes in the air, entwine the petals in your hair.
He drills it! Oh, what a hit! He belted it home!
You unravel in the sun, and you know.
Oh, would you believe it? It's a devastating finish! Goal after goal! They are still in the playoff hunt. A moment of real quality from Amari Morgan-Smith. Afternoon of unscripted drama ahead. 2 quick ball goals for Grimsby Town. Just simply sensational. The Mariners are finally back in the Football League.
So those are highlights from an exciting season last year. Adam, were there any surprises for you? We saw Cheltenham, we saw Grimsby in the end finally go up into League Two. That was probably expected, wasn't it, at the start of the season?
Yeah, I mean, it was always difficult for Cheltenham with the amount of signings that Gary made, being compared to York today, how those players adapted. And he brought good characters, which certainly helped. Parslow, Downs and Phillips, for me, were an outstanding partnership of why they won the league. But again, as Kevin was saying, Braintree was a great story. You know, Wrexham improving under Gary Mills all the time, and Dover as well under Chris Kinnear. It's a real competitive league, but I feel the two that went up deserve so.
Forest Green, perhaps unlucky, they may feel like this year is their year.
Well, it will happen at some point. That's the only certainty. That the chairman is a very successful businessman, and he wants success, so he has to do it. And there's no better time than this season, but they're up against it.
Well, if you look back at Maidstone's history, then you will see the name Bill Williams as a player and later as a manager. At 72, he's still going strong as the club's now chief executive, and he's speaking to Adam Summerton.
Thank you, Natalie. Well, a lot's changed at this club over the years, and Bill is the perfect man really to talk to us about it. I mean, just since those title wins at this level of 84 and 89, an incredible amount has changed.
Oh yeah, it's been amazing. It seems a long time ago, but yeah, we as you know, we were defunct, we went out of business, and that was 28 years ago, and we've picked ourselves up and come back to the level which we were back in 83, and it's been a long journey.
As part of the club now, as chief exec, you played such a big part in the move to this new stadium, the 3G pitch. Tell us about all that.
Well, that's very kind of you to say it, but there's been a lot of other people involved as well. But it's been, I would say the journey really coming back here started maybe about 2002. And then over the last 5 years, where we got the two new owners involved, which is Terry Casey and Oliver Ash, it's just moved so quickly, and it's been amazing. We've had these 3 promotions in 4 years, which has caused us a little bit of a problem. In so much as that Terry Fargo was saying that our goalkeeper Lee Walgan, he said, why did he make that save? It's £1 million it's going to cost me. So it's it's been amazing. In 5 years we've travelled a distance that we thought was going to take us 10.
So you're ahead of schedule then?
Oh yeah, way ahead. When we sat down originally 5 years ago, we said, well look, this is going to take us to get back to where this is the level where we wanted to get back to, and we said it may take 8-10 years, and of course it's been 5 years, so it's been a rapid move, a lot of changes.
You're obviously well backed as well. How important has that been?
That's been the main part of this club, has been that we've got 2 men who have put in their own private money, and they've backed the club and the town and all our supporters, our players, our management, right the way through over the last 5 years. And whenever we've had to go to this next level, like we've come now, where we've got to put in a new stand at the top end here, and we say it's going to cost you 750,000. They've sort of got taken a deep breath and said, okay, let's do it, because we've got this commitment to the town.
What's the ambition?
Well, the ambition was, it hasn't changed. We wanted to get to this level, and then stay around this level for 2 or 3 years if we could, and then maybe have a go and get ourselves back in the Football League, which we were back in 89.
Wish you all the best of luck with that. Thanks for speaking to us.
Okay, and thanks very much for having us. It's great.
Bill Williams speaking to Adam Summerton there. And as we've said, history is going to be made today, because this is the first game in the Vanarama National League to be played on a 3G pitch. Maidstone are one of 2 clubs that have got the artificial surface, and they've spent a lot of money relaying it this summer, £250,000 in fact. So we're going to test it out. Chris and Kev have very kindly volunteered to test it out for us. Adam, it won't suit everybody.
No.
Not everybody will be a fan of it. Would you like to play on this kind of surface every week?
I mean, for me, Natalie, I'm not a massive fan of this surface in general, really, because as a player, 99% of your career you do play on grass, and you get the odd occasion where these 3G pitches come into play. The bounce makes a big difference, the way that you pass it. There's not a lot of water on this pitch, so you know the pressure of the pass has to be a lot better, and as we see now with Kevin, Chris, what they say, how they're kicking the ball.
Well, Chris, does it feel different straight away?
It is different. It's a lot different. It's so much better than the pitches that we used to play on, the old AstroTurfs that you'd burn yourself if you went in for a sliding tackle. But For the home team, massive advantage. I think for any team coming here, it's going to be really difficult. You've got to prepare in the week. You've got to have trained on this surface, perhaps even had a game on it.
Kevin, there are advantages, though, aren't there, to it for a club like Maidstone to have an artificial pitch?
I think, of course, there is. For the community, I think they can base all their training here for all their age groups and get the use out of this. I mean, this is an amazing surface. I've played on a lot of these and done a lot of coaching on these kind of surface. This is one of the best that I've been on. So I think from York's point of view, no excuses, get on with it. They're well prepared. It's a fantastic surface, fantastic stadium. Go and enjoy the game.
As you say, it could be a real leveller, couldn't it?
Yeah.
York have had a pre-season game at Harrogate to try and prepare themselves. Yeah. Do you ever think we will see more artificial surfaces, perhaps in the Football League?
Well, I think that it will certainly need to be looked into, especially in League 2 and League 1. The amount of times they have games called off because they don't have the money to keep the grounds, from frozen pitches and everything. You have to see what Braintree, every Christmas they turn 8 games called off and they're catching up again in March. So I do get why teams in the lower, they can rent them out, they can get better revenue from it. But for a Football League side, it's going to cause more problems for more of the other teams.
Well, Kev, you look like you mean business. You've got your jacket on. So are you going to have a shot while
I'll have a shot,
yeah.
All the best. Good luck.
Keeper's it.
Watch that keeper.
Not bad, not
a bit of
bad.
check.
Not bad. You're going to blame the pitch.
Yeah, blame his footwork.
Tries to turn in a bit then.
He's better with his head.
Well, the two managers here today, well, it's unknown territory for them. They're preparing for 9 months in the National League. Jay Saunders and Jackie McNamara are going to be with us after this break. Welcome back to a glorious day here in Kent, and the fans coming in their droves as they're counting down to the first game in the National League. We could be in for a hair-raising game as well. We'll have to wait and see. Our first live game, of course, here on BT Sport. Tomorrow, though, don't forget our weekly Vanarama National League highlight show returns with all the action from today's games. That is at 10 o'clock in the evening on BT Sport 1. And delighted to be joined by York City manager Jackie McNamara as your team warm up behind us. Jackie, you've recently admitted you didn't want to be in the National League, but you felt powerless, you said, to stop that spiral of last year. What has kept you with York City?
I think a number of things. I think the facilities there, the chairman, was a big factor to me coming down in the first place. I think to walk away from that would have been wrong, to try and I come down to try and change it, and fortunately we couldn't keep them in the league, but for me to try and make sure we can back up as soon as possible to a new stadium in 2 years.
What was the conversation that was had then with the board after last season, and do you feel, and are you under pressure straight away to get them promoted?
I think as a manager you're always under pressure. I don't think that changes whether you're successful or not. I think naturally, obviously, you're under pressure with coming down. I think, coming to this league, everybody expects you to bounce straight back up, but we all know how difficult it will be. There's a lot of teams that invested heavily over the summer. We've had a big change, as you can see. I think today there's only our goalkeeper in the starting 11, which it sends a kind of message to what we think is for us personally. For the right people coming in.
Was that last season, Jackie? Did you feel this huge amount of players was more because the players let you down last season, or more just for a fresh start for you and for the club?
I think both. I think the freshness there, as a player, you always feel the ones in the dressing room, you feel that are hurting when you lose. Yeah. The win together. And I think the team spirit is something that I'm a big believer in. I think you see that over the summer.
It wasn't good enough last season for you.
It wasn't good enough. I just think there wasn't a real togetherness, and I think right through the club. But the lads are brought in, they're hungry, they've come from different backgrounds. Some came leaving jobs full time to come and have a real go at full time football, and for me it's been refreshing, over the summer to try and change that.
I think you've only had them a short space of time now, a number of weeks. What kind of group are they? Have they gelled? How long is it going to take for them to gel? We saw obviously what Gary Johnson did with Cheltenham. Do you think you can get something similar out of this group?
I hope. No, that's the plan. It's been together 5 weeks, and I think as I said, in terms of people, I think they're fantastic people first and foremost. I think that goes a long way. The rest of it there says they're hungry for, not just to learn, but to actually play the game, help each other. Some good characters in there. So a lot of intelligent lads as well, which makes a change. Coming with, I think we could be the most intelligent team in the league with a few degrees in the squad. But again, the want is the most important thing for me. The want from the players to to be better, to improve themselves, and not just obviously coming for the money.
I think the mentality as well, obviously not winning a number of games, I think coming into this new league is clean slate, new mentality, going in and get off to a good start. I think it's really important for a team in the new league, isn't it?
It's important for the team, I think for the fans as well. I think last year's been tough for everybody. You know, the fans, they've got a great fan base, you know, especially away from home, and you know, we weren't good enough throughout the season, and we paid the price for that. Well, a lot of games were in winning positions and we couldn't see them through. You know, I think we lost nearly 30 points for winning positions, which ultimately cost us a place in the Football League.
Jackie, we really appreciate you talking to us so close to kick-off, and we wish you all the best today and the rest of the season. So as we leave, we let Jackie leave, then we bring in Jay Saunders, and they do the pleasantries. A nice handshake between the two managers. Jay, what a dramatic few years it's been for you and for the club. Are you ready for the National League?
I think so, ready as we can be. You obviously, as we found last year, when you get promoted, you sort of think you're ready. Until the sort of real stuff starts, you're not too sure. So we're looking forward to it, but we know what's ahead of us.
I suppose nothing could be as dramatic as how you secured your place. Just relive that playoff final last season.
Do you know what? It still ain't really sunk in. I think we were 30 seconds away from losing it, and then all of a sudden we've won on penalties 10 minutes later, and it's all been a bit of a blur, to be honest. I don't think it's until we sort of start going to the big grounds in this league and realise what we've achieved. But it was an unbelievable.
Obviously with the pitch, your aspirations, I know you competitive, ambitious. You obviously must have thought about Football League, and the players must be thinking about that. What's your thoughts on it?
I don't know, because we never thought we'd be in this position as quick as we were. So I remember when the chairman first said we're laying a sort of AstroTurf pitch, we were kind of thinking, well, I thought of the old sort of stuff. And then
that's right.
And ever since then, it's been a bit of a whirlwind. So for us, we're just sort of concentrating on, I think for us, is to, I've set the lads a target at top 10, but for us, we want to stay in the league. If we can do that, then we'll go from there, and we'll worry about that
just
when
see
it
where
happens.
It takes you.
Yeah,
similar to Braintree with Danny Cowley.
Yeah, I think that's how we got to be.
Yeah.
I think that's obviously 2 nights a week training. We've got to get a feel for the level. I've got lads here that I think are good enough for the level. We might get 10 sort of games in and realise they're not, and we have to change it.
In a strange way though, Jay, sometimes it's easier that the 2 days a week, because you get that discipline, you get that structure, and finding pitches sometimes is difficult.
It is, and I speak to Danny Cowley a lot, and he sort of said that it's, for 2 nights a week, you've got to be as organised as you can, and that's something we'll do. We've got a young group of lads that want to push on and do well, and they turn up and they work hard in training, and hopefully we'll be okay. Yeah.
You've only made 5 new additions to the squad. How important was it to keep that core team from last season?
Yeah, we've tried to do that. Last year we did the same. We found 10 games in, we were struggling a bit, and then we started to change things slightly. I think when I found out the transfer window had been scrapped for this level, for us, a club coming up, that's been a big bonus. I know some clubs are not fans of it, but for us, I'd like to give some of these young lads a chance at this level, and if we get in and we need to strengthen, then that's something we'll look at. But at the moment, I'm happy with what we got, and we'll find out.
I know every game's going to be tough. It's going to be difficult. You've got Braintree, you've got Tranmere, you've got Forest Green in the opening kind of 6 games, and you've got to play them at some point, I suppose. Do you think it's better to play them early in the season?
Who knows? I'll tell you after 10 games. I'll let you know. But if I'm being honest, the boys have worked very hard to get to here. The club's worked very hard to get to this point. We're here a lot earlier than what we thought. And it's an exciting time for us, so we're looking forward to testing ourselves as players, as managers, the coaching staff. You want to test yourself against the best you can, and at non-league football this is the highest level. So
important to get off to a good start.
Of course, yeah, 3 points would be ideal at home, but we know York are going to be a good side, so we'll give it our best shot, and we'll see how we get on.
Jay, thank you very much also for joining us. We wish you best today and, of course, the rest of the season. Well, Maidstone have won their opening games in the last 3 seasons. They'll be looking to maintain that record and pick up their first points in the National League. We're building up more to this game after the break. Welcome back to the Gallagher Stadium, where we begin our National League coverage this season with Maidstone against York this afternoon. But you won't miss a thing from this weekend, because our highlight show is back with footage from all of today's games. That is tomorrow at 10 o'clock in the evening on BT Sport 1. Kick-off here is less than 15 minutes away, so let's hear from a couple of the players that are going to be in action. They've been speaking to Adam Summerton.
Alex, you debut in 2011. You've seen the club make incredible progress since then, haven't you?
Yeah, it's come a long way since then. Obviously, back then I think we was playing at Ashford. So from there we went to Sittingbourne, and then from there we come here. So it's transformed a long way since 2011. Yeah.
What's the club like to play for?
It's brilliant. I mean, every year we have a great togetherness in the squad. That's one of Jay's main priorities. If people don't want to play as a team, then they're not part of the team. So togetherness is probably the main aspect of our team.
I was going to ask you about Jay because he seems so key to this club. How important has he been to you as well personally?
He's a big part of the club. I mean, when I made my debut, he was captain here, so I played with him and played under him. So it's changed in the last couple of years. He's changed, obviously, from his playing days. But he's a big part. I mean, everything revolves around Jay. It's Jay's decisions. So what he's done with the club, and as a young manager, he's done a brilliant job. 3 promotions in 4 seasons says it all, really, doesn't it? It does, yeah. I mean, last year we weren't expected to come straight up, and we proved everyone wrong. There was teams with bigger budgets than us. You had ex-league players playing, and we had a good squad. I mean, like I said earlier, the togetherness of our squad is a key, and even in the playoff final, we stuck together. 10 seconds to go, we score a goal, and then you win on penalties. So it's a never say die attitude, really. Thanks for your time. No problem.
Scott, a long pre-season behind you. I guess you'll be glad to get going, won't you?
Yeah, lads are raring to go, and beautiful day to start, and yeah, let's get things on the way now.
It's been a summer of change, I think it's fair to say, at York. You're one of the few who remains from last season. What has changed so far in terms of the feeling around the camp?
It's like a totally different club. Coming back on the first day of pre-season, it felt like I was joining a new club as well. So I've got to say the team spirit is probably the best I've witnessed in a football club. I've been around football a long time now, and the lads in there, like I said, we've got a special bond. So hopefully with the start of the season now, it's things going like I said.
In terms of that, with you being one of the biggest clubs at this level, dealing with the weight of expectation, will that togetherness be important, do you think?
Yeah, it's massive. I think you've seen in the summer in the Euros how much Wales it helped them with the team spirit, and I think what the gaffers emphasised on this season is a big togetherness, because it's going to be hard being one of the biggest teams in the league. So it's going to be a challenge, but like I said, if we've got that strong team spirit, then we're going to go a long way.
And with you being one of the most experienced players in the group as well, there's a lot of young players, isn't there? You'll be able to help with that, won't you?
Yeah, there is, but there's a lot of strong characters in there as well. So it's only going to help through the long course of the season. So hopefully that'll pay in dividends.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Cheers.
Adam Summerton asking the questions there. Well, we've also picked out a few players who we think may have a big say in what happens in today's game. Let's start with Maidstone then, and Ben Greenhalgh, who's swapped into Milan for Maidstone. Well, not quite, but something along those lines.
No, what a story. He obviously won football's next star and got the chance. Didn't quite work out for him there, but he said it was an amazing experience with Jose Mourinho. Came back, couldn't get in the team, sent him to Concord Rangers, and the manager or his staff scouted him 6 times and did well, scored 10 goals, so they've got him back. It's exciting. You know, he probably sees this as, you know, a real opportunity to put his name on the map again, I suppose.
And he says this was the only club he'd ever want to come back to. Bobby Joe Taylor, who is only a young player, but the manager rates him very highly.
Yeah, again, speaking to the manager before the game, he picked him out as the one that can really change the game. Young, exciting talent as well, to go with all the experience they've got here. And I know he only scored the 1 goal last season, but it was an important goal in the playoff final. And again, a good prospect coming forward, an opportunity to play at the next level. That's all you want to do as a footballer, to play at the highest possible level.
With York then, and Scott Fenwick, who ended the season at Tranmere, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, again, he's the one who's going to be the focal point of the attack, and you know, he's a good player. And again, they'll be looking to him to bring the ball in, bring his teammates in. Lots of experience. So yeah, good player.
And finally, Jan Klukowski, who's got a proven record at this level.
He has.
Hasn't he?
Yeah, he's played a lot of appearances, over 300. He has been prolific as a goal-scoring midfielder. He's got 18 in one season for Forest Green. I think he scored 48 for the club. But he's the right age for the manager. He needs a bit of experience in there, and I think he'll give that.
There's a really good atmosphere building here. You can probably hear the fans as they wait for kick-off. What kind of game are you expecting today, Chris?
Well, I honestly believe that York will be a little bit apprehensive about this game. The pitch, the atmosphere, the league, I just think it's going to be really, really tough for them. For Maidstone, it is the unknown, but what a day for it. And then they're used to playing here, they're used to winning. I strongly fancy them today.
Well, we've done all the talking. It's time for the players to kick-start the Vanarama National League. We are counting down to kick-off here. It's Maidstone against York, and it's live after this break. Welcome back as we count down to a brand new season in the Vanarama National League. It's Maidstone against York. Still have Kevin and Chris alongside me. Well, just before the break, I asked Chris what kind of game he was expecting, and he said York might be apprehensive. Maidstone have a very good home record here. Only 12 games lost in 4 seasons. They've got to really use their home advantage this year, haven't they?
I think we do. I expect Maidstone to come out of the traps really strongly, get the crowd behind them, all that momentum. We're a team that are used to winning football matches, so they'll be up for this game. They know York maybe a little bit tentative because they're not used to winning football matches and just being relegated. So strong start from Maidstone, should be a great game.
Do you think that pre-season friendly with Harrogate, getting used to the surface, will be really beneficial for York coming into this?
I think so. It will give them some experience of playing on this kind of surface. It'll probably be a totally different surface up there, but it will help them in the preparation for this game. So York, they've done all the hard work, they're prepared. There's a new young squad, new manager. It's a new era for them, so we'll see how they cope this year.
Well, the fans are certainly in good voice. They can't wait, and neither can we. Let's head over to our commentary team. Here's Adam Virgo and Adam Somerton.
Thank you, Natalie. Good afternoon, everyone. Well, isn't it great to have the football back? And what a compelling season ahead in the National League. So many great stories to follow, and these two clubs are right up there in that respect. Their journeys to this point couldn't really be much more different. Maidstone United making their National League debut. York City came 5th in the old Division 2 in 1993, when Maidstone United started out as their current shape. There are the starting lineups then. In terms of Maidstone United, the squad that achieved their promotion has been largely kept intact by Jay Saunders, whose starting lineup contains 6 players who began last season's playoff final. Jackie McNamara has signed 19 new players this summer, while 17 left following York's relegation last season. There's not a single survivor from the 11 that began York's final match of the previous campaign. Matt Fry and Clovis Camjo both featured in last season's playoffs with Braintree and Forest Green, respectively.
With all the new signings that Jackie McNamara has made, it'll be really interesting to see how they do cope on this 3G surface. He's decided to go with that 3 at the back.
Our referee today is David Rock, who took charge of 12 National League matches last season. And by the way, just in case you are interested in being a qualified referee yourself, you can go to btsport.com/referee for more details. That's for people over the age of 14. Well, there is Anthony Acheampong, who was actually on the losing side in last season's playoff final, playing for Ebbsfleet against Maidstone, signed by the Stones in June. And Aidan Connolly is a player who's really impressed for York in pre-season, signed by Jackie McNamara for a second time. The 20-year-olds played for Scotland at youth level. Well, here we go again. 83 days since Grimsby won the National League promotion final at Wembley. The new season gets underway. These two clubs with very different aims and objectives for the campaign ahead. About securing safety first and foremost for newly promoted Maidstone. York City, one of the biggest clubs in the league. A weight of expectation for them to handle and potentially be inspired by, of course. Near enough a full house at the Gallagher Stadium, which only opened just over 4 years ago. A beautiful day as well. They've always had a 3G pitch here, by the way, since the stadium was open, but that's been upgraded too over the summer, as the old surface was showing some signs of wear and tear after 4 years. A little bit of history being made in that respect today as well. This is the first English 5th tier game to be played on a 3G surface. Well, these players rested, recuperated, and they should be raring to go. Long pre-seasons completed, 46 games ahead. As a player, Adam Virgo, I'd imagine you'd just be glad to get going at this time.
I'll be delighted now that the season has started. Those pre-season runs, which is always difficult to get through as well. And this is what it really comes down to, this first game of the season. A great atmosphere inside here, which will really motivate the players. but it's a massive, massive task there.
Jay Saunders used to go to Maidstone games with his dad as a boy, had 2 spells with the club as a player, now the head coach. He really is Mr. Maidstone, really. He's done a fantastic job. But it's York City who are doing the early running here. That with Fry. Now it's Clapperson, who's been signed from Hull City, where he was a big part of their under-21 set up until recently. Now Clovis Camger, plenty of League Two experience, most notably with Barnet for him. Dukowski, the ball forward towards Sweeney. Forward here towards Flisher. And it was Scott Flinders who had to come out to gather.
Well, they're the type of balls early on the back three of York have to be so aware of. The bounce is so unpredictable here. There's not really a lot of water on this surface. It's interesting to see the way that Jackie McNamara wants his side to play. In that League Two, he'd love to try and get the ball down and play. It seems already in the first couple of minutes they want to try and pass it as much as possible and not go too direct.
New season, a clean slate, fresh start. Optimism high, dreams intact for now. Certainly York City fans suffered more than most in English football last season. As Jackie McNamara well knows, only Aston Villa and Bolton won fewer league games in the top 4 divisions. Very new look side now that they will hope will do much better things. Heslop on the ball. Cam Joe to have a go.
A fairly positive start from York in this early couple of minutes, liking to pass. Camjo in that area there, always leaning back a little bit. I think Jackie McNamara will be very pleased. As was talking about maybe the early day nerves, and he'll be pretty pleased with his start so far.
Of course, Jackie McNamara have a trophy-laden time as a player at Celtic, won 10 major honours in 10 years there. One of his previous managerial experience has been north of the border at Partick Thistle and Dundee United. Heslop. Camjo, who's seen plenty of the ball in the early stages. Signed from Forest Green over the summer. I mentioned earlier he used to play at Barnet, where I'm told that he learnt that defensive midfield role from a certain Edgar Davids, so he should be all right.
Just without the glasses.
Clearance by Drive, it's certainly York City having much the better of the ball in the early stages, but now an opportunity for Maidstone to go forward themselves up towards Flisher, and again Scott Flinders is out quickly.
They're just trying to look early on to get Flisher in behind. Back three of York.
Clapperson. Header was by Achimpong. Clearance by Mills. Murphy. His chance, he's really had to get on the ball. Looking to combine here with Driver. Good build-up play this by Maidstone. Entirely convincing at the back there from York. But Rooney got it clear.
It's the first time they've really got the ball out wide. Driver trying to get forward as well.
Then it was that early ball forward from defence in the direction of Flisher. Encouragement for the Stones.
Well, they certainly get into the game a little bit more, trying to play off those second balls. First time that Tom Murphy's really got the ball on that right-hand side.
Got to say, it's a brilliant atmosphere at the Gallagher Stadium. They are really proud of that. Maidstone United have an opportunity here to launch it into the area. Flinders has come a long way, and it will be a corner.
That's certainly going to be a weapon for Maidstone today. Look at the distance there. I like that from the goalkeeper. Didn't quite get there, but at least he was encouraged to come and try and punch it as much as possible.
It's Ben Greenhow who's gone across to take this corner for Maidstone United. Signed from Concord Rangers, re-signed from Concord Rangers over the summer. Really busy inside that penalty area. Clutch of Maidstone players. Referee just wants a word here.
You can clearly see around the penalty area, Maidstone are just trying to make themselves difficult to mark. When you get in that cluster like that, for a York defender, it's not easy. and sometimes you just get that little bit of a yard to run on them. So it's important you don't get too tight, and that's where you start shirt pulling. So the referee will be keeping a strong eye on that.
Matt Fry it was who the referee wanted a word with. He was certainly watching that closely, the situation, the referee, and awards a free kick to York City.
Well, they've got good height, Maidstone. Achipong, as we know about. Loco as well. They've certainly just got back into the game. A little bit of a slow start. York passing the ball very well. Heslop and Camjo in that midfield area. Jackie McNamara has seen that as somewhere that he could win the league. Good passes of the ball.
Maidstone and York were 2 leagues apart this time last year, but they begin this new campaign as equals. Where they'll finish, how they'll do, of course, tough to predict, just as the rest of the league is. I know you were one of those who gave your views on who you think will be in the top 5 before the game. I bet you're pretty nervous about that, aren't you?
I'll soon find out come the end of the season.
I know Chris Hargreaves is. Here comes that long throw in again. Loco forward from the back. Taylor scored that wonderful goal in the playoff final last season, cutting in from the left-hand side. That time looked to go on the outside, where he's also effective. There's an energy now about Maidstone.
They just got into the game a little bit more, even though it's from their long throws from Flisher coming into the box. But it's important that York mark those second balls. They've actually defended the first header pretty well. It's important the likes of Camjo get on those ones. They have to clear it when it drops.
Flisher to launch it in. Flinders thought about coming for a moment there. Taylor. The cross in was a good one, which was dealt with at the back by York City. Yeah, just coming under a bit of pressure here. Had a clear was by Camjo. Now it's Sweeney.
And they're just settling into the game a little bit more, Maidstone.
Throw-in taken quickly by Flisher. And he'll get it back again here. He's been with the club since he was a teenager, made his debut back in 2011. He's won his side a corner.
Well, they're doing what you need to do against a 3-5-2, is get the ball out wide very quickly to the likes of Taylor and Murphy. Flisher's movement's been very good so far, creating space for his midfielders to try and get into.
Just inside the 9th minute at the Gallagher Stadium, floated in by Greenhow. Joe gets his head to it. And it couldn't make it stick. Maidstone quickly win it back, and they wanted to carry on there. Referee pulling it back for the free kick.
I know it's only the first game of the season, but these are the characters, these are the tests that the likes of York are to come under. You come away to Maidstone, long balls into the box, long throw-ins. As a defender, it's all about concentration. Every single time, at one time you do switch off, could lead to a goal. They're not afraid to be direct at this moment in time.
Floated forward by Morgan this time, looking to seek out Loco. It was the head of Higgins that it went. Gave up his job as a PE teacher in Burnley to turn pro with York City, Jack Higgins. It's a great story. He's been playing part-time at Stalybridge last season. Flinders looking to get something on it. Camjo did, but the referee had seen an infringement. They've dealt with that aerial threat well so far.
They have done well, and they certainly would have been aware in their pre-team talk. Jackie McNamara would have said, you have to defend every single one that comes in, get your head on it, be brave, and also as well be on those second balls. It does become predictable, and you know exactly what's going to come. It's just always important that you stay tight with your men.
He's a big believer, Jay Saunders, in making things fun for the players. He was telling me, says when you're only training 2 nights a week, you need to do that for team spirit. It's absolutely essential. Volleyed forward by Camjo. Always asking a little bit too much of Fenwick, and back here with Walker. Mills. Flisher with the first-time header, seeking out Taylor. Really is great on the ball, such a threat down that left-hand side. Cross Just a little bit too deep, but they keep it going with Driver looking to get on the ball.
And it's also important as well that Wibble and Rooney don't drop too deep as the wing backs and you end up as a flat back five. And that's where the likes of Taylor and Murphy will get a lot of joy and a lot of space. You have to be brave as a wing back to stay higher up the pitch. Be prepared to defend one-on-one.
Maidstone opened up last season's campaign with a 2-0 win at the eventual National League South champion Sutton United. York lost 3-0 at Wycombe Wanderers in League Two, a very early indicator of the trouble that was ahead for the Minster Met. You really do detect from speaking to the players and Jackie McNamara himself before the game, there is a renewed sense of optimism at York City.
I think you only have to use the example of Cheltenham and Gary Johnson last season, that he feels that a complete clear-out was needed, not only with personnel but certainly characters. He was saying earlier in his pre-match interview, he sometimes felt that players, when they did lose last season, it didn't really mean much to them. You bring in players that are hungry for success, some part-time players, often them full-time work as well. It's a massive incentive for these players to try and bounce back at the first time of asking.
York really went down with a whimper last season, only won one of their final 16 league matches. That was a 3-1 home victory over Portsmouth. Really need to hit the ground running in the National League. Well, this applause in the 12th minute has been organised by the Maidstone supporters as a mark of respect to one of the club's young supporters, 12-year-old Charlie Girling, who tragically died at a scout camp in Finland recently. Our condolences, of course, go out to his family and friends. Really nice touch that by both sets of supporters.
Yeah, it is. The York City fans as well joining in with the applause under such tragic circumstances, but again, shows how football can bring people together.
Higgins. Clapperson able to stride forward. It is a big feature of his game, that. Very comfortable on the ball for a centre-half. Sweeney just moves clear of Kamja. Heslop trying to win it back. Some good battles going on out there.
And they're just certainly dictating that a little bit more in midfield now, Maidstone.
It's proved a good focal point for the attack so far, Flisher. He's a carpenter by trade, works in a family business. And that is the big difference, Adam, between these two clubs. One full-time, the other part-time. I mentioned earlier, training 2 nights a week at Maidstone.
I mean, the gap is getting smaller, I feel, as you look last season with Braintree and Dover. You can compete with these full-time sides week in, week out. I completely agree there with Jay Simpson that, you know, you've got to try and make training fun when you only see each other twice a week, and sometimes as players you do switch off quite quickly when you have to work on shape and formation, which you will need to do. Set plays you can already see so far for Maidstone is going to be important for their season and success.
Clearance by Rooney, who was just caught late there by Greenhout. And the referee is going to want a word at the very least here with Greenhout.
It's good to see you trying to defend from the front. Just a little talking to there from the referee.
Greenhout, formerly of Internazionale, won that TV talent competition in 2010. Got that 6-month deal in Italy when Jose Mourinho was the manager.
I remember watching it.
He's also a pro golfer, I'm told, by the way, as well. Ben Greenhout, off scratch, had to decide between football or golf. Went for the former. Headed by Higgins. Heslop heads forward. They back here by Mills to Walken. important figure in those back-to-back promotions, the goalkeeper Lee Morgan. Maidstone get the free kick.
Oh, the table's turned a little bit now. I mean, York have kept good possession in their own half. They've not really done anything in that final third to test Maidstone in any way. They're not winning enough second balls in that midfield area, which I thought would be important today.
Locko and Achamponga in there again for Maidstone. No shortage of height in that side, is there? It comes, good delivery, and Flinders gathers confidently, really commanding inside his 6-yard box there, the York City goalkeeper.
There's a quality ball in there from Ben Greenhout. Beat that first man, that's what you want to do. You want to come and attack it at the far post as Locko does.
Heslop getting to it first for York City. And what a day of action we have on BT Sport tomorrow. It's also the opening weekend in the Ladbrokes Premiership, and we bring you St Johnstone against Aberdeen. Their 4 league meetings of last season produced 18 goals. West Ham welcome the Italian champions Juventus to the Olympic Stadium tomorrow. A big test for the Hammers, also available in 4K via BT Sport UHD, as is the Community Shield, live from Wembley. The Premier League champions Leicester City against the FA Cup holders Manchester United. It's Flisher to launch one again here for Maidstone. York City have been well aware of this, getting prepared for it, but it is still so hard to defend, but they've again done it well, the Minstermen.
Yeah, that second ball there cleared very well.
Driver up towards Flisher, who again wins the header. Greenhow to get on the ball. Taylor's made a run for him. Greenhow with the deep cross.
I mean, you did wonder how quickly that Jackie McNamara's side would settle into this game. Brand new team in today against the Maidstone side that predominantly have played together now for a few years, and you can now see with their movement, the way that they do link up together, they are playing a lot better.
And it comes from Flisher over the head of Cam Joe. Locko's in there. Really congested inside the area. Flisher looking to fizz one in, which wasn't a bad idea, really. Connolly, who really needs some support, and it's arriving. Heslop. Connolly. Klukowski. He's not seen too much of the ball in the first 18 minutes. Given away by Kamja. It's well defended by Jack Higgins up against Flisher.
I mean, even that ball there from Kamjo on the grass surface with a bit of zip on it, probably would have made it across to that right-hand side.
It's hard to know how to read Maidstone's home form last season. They won 12 times here, more home wins than any other side in the National League South, yet they lost 7 times and actually took a point more on their travels, as Jay Saunders was pointing out to me earlier. Well, let's hear from Jay Saunders now. Actually, he's with Natalie.
Well, Jay, your team put in on the early pressure. You happy with what you've seen so far?
Yeah, good start. I think now we've got to try and get it down and start playing a bit more. We've asked a few questions of them. I think we've just got to be slightly better in possession, a bit more patient. But yeah, no, pleased.
Any concerns that you haven't turned that possession into a scoring opportunity and scoring a goal yet?
No, as I say, I just think at times we've been a little bit too direct. I've asked them to ask questions of them, which we've done. But I think once we get in that final third, we've got to be a little bit better on the ball.
Thanks, Jay.
Crossing by Driver, what a ball it was too! And that's a great chance for Flisher. Best opportunity of the game so far.
Well, it really is the opportunity of the game there for Alex Flisher. Good hold-up play. That's a quality ball in. And in the end, Sean Rooney, that just maybe put him off a little bit there. But that's a quality ball in. That bounce on the surface as well. I think he just needs that bit of desire, just to gamble that little bit more to get on the end of it, but you have to give credit to the defending there as well.
So important, wasn't it, from Sean Rooney? He's just 20 years old. In fact, he only turned 20 on the 26th of July. was with the youth team at Dundee United, Sean Rooney, when Jackie McNamara was manager there, so it was a player that he knew all about, went back and got him. It's a good opportunity here for Maidstone to send the likes of Loco forward. Acheampong's got the nod, I think, as well there to go too. Sweeney, one of those on the edge of the area to make their move in. Higgins got his head to it. Flinders, some decent distance on the punch. That's really nicely done to Taylor! Finds that bottom corner! And Maidstone United lead York City. Great finish. Really well created. This club's first game at this level. No wonder they're so happy. One of the heroes of last season's playoff final has struck their opening goal of the season.
Well, again, it's just a direct ball in. They defend. Talking about those second balls there. Connolly doesn't get there. It's a great little 1-2 with Dan Sweeney. And it's a brilliant finish across Scott Flinders. Just a little give and go there. Perfectly there for his first touch. And you hit it across the goalkeeper. You got every chance. And he strikes it well. And I think it certainly gives Maidstone a well-deserved lead.
Just 21 years old, Bobby Joe Taylor. I mentioned that goal that he scored in the playoff final against Ebbsfleet back on the 14th of May. That was his only goal of last season. Brought down here. Actually started out at Chelsea, Bobby Joe Taylor. Moved to Gillingham at the age of 14. He'll be elated with that goal.
He will be. He's somebody that's going to be so important for Jay Saunders this season. Good trickery. It was a great little 1-2 with Dan Sweeney. Again, that composure just to put it into the bottom corner as well.
Cross in by Greenhouse. Well, the way that this game started, the opening 5 minutes, it was York City having much the better of the possession on the front foot. Maidstone drew into it slowly, but now really dominating.
I mean, you see so many times the way that they're throwing bodies into the box, the balls are so direct from throw-ins and free kicks. Just Connolly there on the edge of the box, just switched off for that split second, allowed Taylor to get there first to make the little 1-2 that led to the goal.
Launched in by Flisher. Missed kick by Rogers. Heslop looking to tidy up here for York. Nothing's going the way of the Minstermen right now.
They seem a little bit rattled at the minute. So important now that they just keep their composure, not to concede another quick goal while the home crowd are really getting behind their side. Again, another long throw is going to come in.
It's really been a barrage of them, hasn't it?
It's a tin hat stuff there.
Camjo got something on it, and Flinders had to come off his line, and it's poked towards goal by Loco, not far wide at all.
Well, Scott Flinders is trying to look for a free kick. He's looking to come for the majority of the balls that come in. But decision making is so important as a goalkeeper, when to come and when not to come. Talking about those second balls again, you switch off. That's what happens. Just get enough bodies on the line there to clear it. But they're looking so dangerous at the moment from throw-ins and set plays.
One of the 5 summer signings at Maidstone, Loco. I know that Jay Saunders is a big fan of him. Thinks he can go a long way in the game, but York City's problems continue to mount here. Jackie McNamara really has some sorting out to do. He's still awaiting his first away win as York manager. All 5 victories since he took over last November have been at Bootham Crescent.
This is the test that he wants from his players early on. You're talking about characters and desire. Those fans will certainly expect this season a certain big reaction from the newcomers that are coming in. But it's sort of not been good enough in the first 25 minutes. Not been good in the final third. They defended throw-ins and free kicks pretty well, but again they switched off from that second and third plays that led to the goal.
York, like so many clubs with a hardcore of dedicated travelling support, as I was saying, they haven't had too much to cheer in that respect, not since the 5th of September of York won away from home. They beat Newport County 3-0 that day, the club's only away victory of last season. Let's have another look at the goal.
You just see Connolly on the edge of the box. He just loses it. You need to be goal side there early on. Taylor's on the front foot. It's a great little 1-2 there. There's not really a lot Rooney could have done with that. But you're just talking about switching on. When the ball's cleared, an attacking player just switched off that for that split second. That led to the goal.
Taylor with the layoff. Flisher gets involved. Now Greenham. Sweeney loses out. Now it's with Connolly. York will be so keen to get Connolly on the ball as much as possible. Has been a real live wire in pre-season. I'm told one of the pick of their players in the build-up to the new campaign in the warm-up matches. Of course, now it's all for real. Now he has to really prove himself. Kamja. First time ball by Rooney, just switches the play. Fry. Rooney. That's on by Heslop. It's nicely done by Greenhout. And the dummy wasn't bad either, was it? He's got Taylor outside of him. He's got Flisher central. It's a lovely move, this. Taylor with the ball over, just couldn't pick out Flisher. Lovely football by Maidstone United.
Well, it all starts from Ben Greenhout. Just turns Camjo inside out and then he's off. I think Taylor was just in two minds there, whether to take the shot on, put the ball into the far post. Playing so well on the counter-attack. That's what you want there from Greenhout, that number 10 role, to get on the half-turn, get on running at the York back three.
Maidstone actually finished last season 13 points behind the National League South champion Sutton United, 7 points behind Ebbsfleet, who they beat in the National League South promotion final. The Stones, as is their right, really took full advantage of the playoff system. It's such a big day this for all at Maidstone United. Speaking to some of their supporters before the game, so excited to get this first game under their belts at National League level. The club reformed, you remember, after bankruptcy in 1992. It's been a long journey back up to this level, and he's been a key part of it. Terry Casey, one of the co-owners, really has put his money where his mouth is.
They got a good youth set up here as well, bringing through many of the youth players, Flisher being one of them as well. Tom Mills.
Corner kick then to York City, which Klukowski will go across to take. Now it's the Minster men's turn to try and threaten from a set piece. Fry and Higgins forward. Kamjo, a good aerial presence in there as well. Came off the head of Mills. This is Heslop. And plenty of stayed forward here for York City. Clapperson to send it into the area towards Kamja. Breaks here for Aidan Connolly. Fenwick to cross first time. Wasn't a bad delivery.
It wasn't a bad delivery there. So 4 or 5 passes now York have made over distance. They've struggled with it. Whether or not the ball's just getting caught under their feet a little bit too much.
They're trying to get back on terms. York City You'll know that Maidstone's key strength last season was in their defence, had the third best defensive record in the National League South. Well, Pep Guardiola's first competitive match in charge of Manchester City kicks off our live Premier League coverage next Saturday. David Moyes' Sunderland are the opposition, that also available in 4K. And just like last season, we'll bring you all the goals from every game in the National League. There's an opportunity here, comes in for Greenhout. Just couldn't get the purchase behind the shot.
No, he couldn't quite get the power. But again, it's good link-up play. Fisher's been so dominant up there against the three centre-halves, winning most of the headers.
Let's find out what Jackie McNamara's made of the first half an hour or so. He's speaking to Natalie.
Jackie, clearly not the start that you wanted. Give us your thoughts on the first 30 minutes.
No, I don't think we've started yet. I don't think we've moved the ball well enough. We've got opportunities here to hit good patches diagonals to cause them problems, but I think we've been condensed everything, too many touches. And they've caused a few problems, the long throw-ins and the second ball. You see where the goal comes from, but we need to do a lot better to get back into it.
Thanks, Jackie.
I know from speaking to Jackie that he really does believe he has some rough diamonds in this York City side. Young players, he was telling me, really want to listen and get better. But it is going to take time with 19 new signings coming in. And this is one of them, Connolly. Connolly's continued his run here. Almost got it back to him. Came off Rogers, Heslop. Stretching the play here to Rooney. This is better from York City. Good block though by Tom Mills. The long ball up towards Flisher.
Well, they're the diagonals that Jackie McNamara was talking about. He was talking about the surface being a problem for York. 2 or 3 times they tried to play those ones out wide, but sometimes reaching and sometimes not. But it's certainly on there now. Whittle's looking to get forward a little bit more, as well as Rooney down that right-hand side.
Fry. Clovis Kamja. Comfortable take for Morgan. You know, I think would probably have expected to be a little busier than he has been so far.
It's important though that you keep your concentration. Keep organising all the time. If you're not involved in the game making saves, what you can do is just keep talking to your back four. Being the captain as well has to be vocal.
Clappers. Heslop. Signs of York City moving the ball better and quicker.
They're moving it well in their own half, but even when the likes of Heslop and Kamjo get it, there's not really a lot of movement in front of them to try and make that pass going forward. They're going sideways and backwards pretty well in their own half. The little ball's around the corner. Lukowski, haven't really seen him get on the ball too much as well. You've seen Greenhout causing plenty of problems. Just a bit more initiative in that final third for York needed.
Certainly have got some good technical players in that final third, York City. Lukowski, as Adam was mentioning there, a player with plenty of experience at this level. 4 seasons he had at Forest Green in the National League, where he scored 48 goals. The players are there, it's just about gelling them. Fennick, who got the ball off Klukowski, comes out here to Rooney. Heslop, York City growing in confidence here. So we move towards the final 10 minutes of the first half. Connolly. And again. Whittle with the cross, decent delivery too, off the head of Rogers. York just looking to keep Maidstone penned in here. Another good ball by Whittle. Connolly with the early delivery, stretching for it was Rogers for Maidstone.
That's probably been their best period of play in the final third, York. Just passing with a bit more desire, a bit more of a purpose. Connolly thinking out well with Whittle as well, down that left-hand side. Kelsey's corner has to be better than the one he took first time.
Kamjo got something on it. It's come out here to Heslop. Looking to go on the outside. Volley clearance by Acheampong.
And they've done well, Maidstone. They've got back in numbers, getting goal side early, trying to win those headers when the crosses come in. It's important they just don't drop too deep and allow those time for the likes of Rooney to get his head up and put a ball of quality in.
Well to keep hold of that, York City. Heslop. Sweeney's header clear. Flisher got to it before Kamja. Greenhell, you could see what he was trying to do. Had noticed Tom Murphy on the outside. Referees played the advantage here. Here come York City, driving forward with Whittle. And that was a promising situation for York, so no surprise that the referee was going to his pocket here for a yellow card.
He certainly knew what he was doing there.
There's confirmation of that card for Alex Flisher. But it is going to be a threat down that left-hand side for York City. Alex Whittle, a player who spent 11 years with Liverpool as a youngster, who's won this free kick. Can the Minster man make the most of it? Floated in dangerously by Connolly. Now that's good goalkeeping. It's commanding that from Morgan.
We mentioned it earlier, didn't we? He hasn't had too much to do so far in this first half. When that cross comes in, make that decision. It's a good catch from him. And that certainly would have helped him as well.
Sweeney sliding in effectively was Jack Higgins. Helped on by Klukowski. Fennick, who was at Hartlepool recently, also spent some time at Tranmere on loan last season. Fry. Plenty of really attractive looking fixtures in the National League today. Forest Green, last season's beaten playoff finalists, begin their latest promotion challenge at Meadow Park against Boreham Wood. Also last season's two sixth-tier champions meeting as well, Sutton United and Solihull Moors. Intrigued by Woking against Lincoln as well. Danny Cowley, it took Braintree to third last season, and the playoffs takes his Lincoln City side, as I say, to Woking. And remember as well that you can see every goal from every game this weekend in the National League in our highlights programme. That is tomorrow from 10 o'clock. Handy way to catch up. Seven minutes, just under in fact, to go until half-time at the Gallagher Stadium, as Rooney takes the throw in here for York City, flicked on by Higgins, and Fennick trying to make something of it. He might do yet. Sliding in brilliantly was Callum Driver, and now the counter-attack is up. It's being led by Murphy. Greenhall is central, Flisher's up there as well. York rushing numbers back. Still Murphy, and Taylor's made a run into the area. He's been found, but he's offside. Just gone a little too early, maybe a bit too eager there, the goal scorer.
He's talking about game management right now. York are just throwing bodies forward all the time, getting caught on that counter-attack. I think he's on there. Jack Higgins just running out. Very, very tight call there for the linesman.
Klukowski. Heslop didn't have the purchase on it to reach Kamjo. Sweeney, who's been effective in central midfield for Maidstone. Mills. Up forward by Rogers to Greenhall, who, not that he was fouled there. Heslop. Came off Acheampong. He's going to break here for Aidan Connolly, who has Fennick central. Klukowski getting into the area too. Still Aidan Connolly. The crossbar in the end from Connolly. It's hard to get the ball off.
Yeah, it's been a frustrating half for him. You can see in that final third he's looking to try and get something from it. Always trying to get on that left foot, maybe to get the shot or a pass on. He did the right thing. You keep on his right, that weaker foot. They haven't got him in this area enough for me. Even those little channel balls for him to run onto. This is only the real opportunity. I think he just needs to hit that first time. Pulls off Akajapong very well. Good flick on. Striker's instinct to strike that first time. The minute you take a touch, gives the defender a chance to get back and make a block.
Camjo's header. Underneath it was Sweeney. Then in turn Heslop. Bennett with a knockdown for Connolly. Signs, very early signs of some sort of understanding developing there. Rooney goes on the outside. Bennett makes his way into the area where Connolly is as well. Greenhow. He just keeps going, doesn't he?
He's been excellent today so far. Ben Greenhow showing his qualities. Now, we know it's certainly there. He's got the ability, but it's his work rate off the ball as well. He's working so hard to get back into position. He's always looking to drive forward. He's always got a picture in his mind when he gets the ball. Causing York problems, getting good positions behind Camjo.
Higgins. Maidstone, as a town, you'd have to say, really getting behind their team. The Stones had the highest average attendance in last season's National League South, around 2,100. That was higher than all but 6 National League clubs. In fact, even 3 League Two clubs had lower average gates. They really have captured the imagination of the local population.
Yeah, they have. I mean, we came here a few years ago for the FA Cup tie against Stevenage, and you just get a good atmosphere around the club. The people are so friendly here, and it's really, really well run. Jay Saunders and the team and the board behind them take a massive amount of credit, and they've got a lot of success so far, and they want to continue that this season.
Heslop going in strong on Greenhow. Referee just waiting to see if that developed for Maidstone. It didn't, so they get the free kick. Good refereeing by David Rock.
Getting a little bit bullied, the back three by Alex Flisher at the minute. Getting in good positions, being strong, being physical. Important now they just switch on now, coming into injury time.
The 2 minutes of the first half remaining. Attendance today, by the way, at the Gallagher Stadium, 2,495. A great opening day crowd for Maidstone, who lead here. But it's York City who will be looking to go on the attack in the closing stages of this first half.
Well, clearly words from Jackie McNamara will need to be said at half-time. A lot of the new players have come in, but not really shown too much so far. Listen, it's not an easy game playing on this surface as well.
York's last game at this level was in the very different surroundings of Wembley Stadium in the 2012 promotion final there, beating Luton 2-1. Beating Mansfield in the semi-finals that year, I recall. Nicely done by Rooney. Clever pass as well to Connolly, who goes for goal. It came off the heel there of Driver. He now looks to try and lead and move forward for Maidstone. Murphy's ball in field to Sweeney. Flisher calling for it. Width provided here by Ben Greenhow. Mills up towards Flisher.
Well, again, these are the areas. You want Connolly in, get in that area, going into the box. Always trying to get on his left foot. Just get it away in the end. Callum Driver there. Good defending though from Maidstone. Staying strong, staying narrow as well.
Find out imminently how much added time there is to be at the end of this first half. James Rogers for Maidstone. Early cross by Taylor. Slice clearance by Higgins. We'll be relieved to see that go wide.
Sometimes as a defender you just need a bit of better connection on it. Try to take a wild slash to try and clear it as far as possible. Just sometimes let the speed of the ball do the work. Just get a good side foot on it. Take a slash, you've always got a chance of it going into the back of the net.
Could be the last opportunity of the first half, this, at the Gallagher Stadium. They've every cause to be happy, those Maidstone United supporters. It's Bobby Joe Taylor, the goal scorer, who swings it in there. Both sets of players appealing, but it will be a corner here to Maidstone. All about holding out till half-time here for York.
Well, Jackie McNamara won't be happy there. Gets a free header.
Right, we're good. Thank you. Back off. Noise. Back out, son. Back out.
We've had the
Back out.
additional minute here.
Right, we're good.
Surely just about enough time to take this corner kick. Flinders flapping it there, and eventually gathers it in. I'll be relieved to hear that half-time whistle when it was a first 45 where it was York who maybe started the better. Jay Saunders' side drew into it fairly slowly to begin with, but then they really started to find their rhythm and got the opening goal through Bobby Joe Taylor, who only got one last season. He's got the first of the opening campaign. Jackie McNamara has quite a team talk to do here at the break at the Gallagher Stadium. It's Maidstone United 1, York City 0.
Welcome back. It's half-time here at the Gallagher Stadium. It is the home side who have taken the lead, and the promoted side that you have to say have had most of the first 45 minutes here. Bobby Joe Taylor putting Maidstone 1-0 up against York. Kevin Davis and Chris Hargreaves still with me watching the game. Clearly Maidstone the happier of the two sides, but actually, Kevin, even before the goal you would have said they were the happier of the two teams.
Yeah, as I said before the start of the game, I expect them to come out and start really strongly, bring all that momentum and positive from last season, all the promotions they've had, and they started the game really well. Went very direct, a lot of bombardment, set pieces, the two centre-halves kept coming up, and they put a lot of pressure on what they expected, a fragile York team, really, a team that's just gone through relegation, and they put a lot of pressure on them, and in the end it told.
There was perhaps a 5 or 10 minute spell where York came back into it, but Jackie McNamara himself saying they weren't in the game for the first 30 minutes, correct?
Yeah, it almost looks like one team's got a game plan that's working, another team, they're waiting for somebody to do it. Aidan Connolly looks the most likely. He's trying to at least make something happen, but for me, the two strikers have got to do more. You've sometimes got to run into channels, just stretch the opposition. At the moment, Maidstone are doing that really well, direct, but there's nothing wrong with that. It's working. And York can't handle Alex Fisher at the moment.
Well, the goal looked like it was coming for a while, and it was Bobby Joe Taylor that put them in front, Kev.
Yeah, the goalkeeper's come there and he's made the punch, and it's a decent punch actually, but they've just kept it alive, and I think York are a little slow to react there. You see he's made the decision to come, he's cleared the box, which we ask of him, but then you see Connolly, it's a little 1-2 here, lets him go, he's pointing, there's nobody there, they're slow to get out, the reaction, it's a really good finish from him, hard and low, equal this tally from last season.
Just defensively, the poor here, York, just don't go with the runner twice, don't push up. It's a great finish, but he'll be so disappointed at the moment, Jackie McNamara really will.
It wasn't the only chance either. There were several other chances. Fisher with another opportunity.
Yeah, he's been excellent. He's really impressed me in the air. And to be honest, I feel that if one of these chances goes in, it is game over. He just gets put off there at the last minute, and it's probably a brilliant bit of defending that, really, just to get your body on the line and make some sort of attempt. And this one, if Kevin Locko scores this, I do believe they win the game. At the moment, this York are just about hanging on. Yeah,
they're putting so much pressure on there. It's not just only about the initial touch of the ball here. They're keeping the second balls alive. They're condensing it. They're getting 6-7 bodies round in it, and the chances are falling for them. So
they're causing York all kinds of problems, aren't they?
Oh God, they are. Yeah, and it's much maligned, isn't it, long ball? But I think as the game's gone on, they have mixed up the game a little bit. Ben Greenhill he's not a long ball merchant. He wants to get on the ball, and he's shown some great skill. But when they have been direct, York have dropped off, enabling good players to get on the ball, such as Ben.
Certainly, if there were any nerves there, they certainly don't seem to be showing it. What do York need to do coming out into the second half?
It's an interesting one now, because I think the last 10-15 minutes they actually came into the game a little bit, and Connolly was getting on the ball, and they looked like they could carve out one or two opportunities. Will Jackie McNamara look to make a change? Will he look to change the formation? But I think the last 10 minutes they came into the game, but it's far too late in the game. I think they were second best. I think the appetite that the Maidstone players shown, the desire to get to all those second balls, they look like they're a little bit hungrier. And as I said, that's a team full of confidence and coming through with all those promotions. And York have just been relegated. I know these players haven't, but I think it was a great first half from Maidstone.
It certainly was, and it is Maidstone that lead at half-time here at the Gallagher Stadium. 1-0 against York. Those fans maybe not too happy with what they've seen so far. We'll see if they can turn it around, and the players can turn it around in the second half. We're back after this break.
York's last season at this level actually began not too far away from here, less than 20 miles in fact, were 2-1 winners at Ebbsfleet United in August 2011. Ironically, the club that Maidstone beat in last season's playoff final, and from the evidence, Adam Virgo, of that first half, it looks as though Maidstone have taken that confidence that they have, that momentum from the end of last season into this.
Yeah, I mean, York did start well for the first few minutes, trying to pass it down that we knew that Jackie McNamara's side wanted to do, but then after that, they really came into their own. Maidstone, I think they settled into the game well. They were passing it, and also as well they're using their long throws and their set plays to good effect. And in the end, Greenhow got in good positions. Fletcher's led the line brilliantly, and now Jackie McNamara needs a reaction from his side in the second half.
Just say that it doesn't faze him being one of the big clubs in the league, being favourites in a lot of the games that they will play. Said that he's used to it from his 10 years at Celtic, where of course the expectation growing up there was that they had to win every game.
Yeah, I mean, he's certainly a legend up there when I signed, and you know, really, really well thought of, so he knows about dealing with pressure.
Jack Higgins with a header clear for York. Fletcher with the early cross. Kept him well here. As Murphy gets it in, and it's well gathered by Flinders.
Well, again, the pitch coming into play, an overhit cross stays in. I was talking earlier, it's dry. Many times on a grassy surface, that has skidded out. Tom Murphy's always still aware to attack that far post, getting on his left.
O'Connolly looking to try and get him behind here. Important touch by Driver.
Well, this is what you want to see more of Connolly in this second half. Getting in good positions. It's important their Driver made the challenge correctly.
Kukowski with the corner. Came off Mills, and it's driven in on the half volley. Well, a bit of intent then from York at the start of the second half. They certainly will need that, and Jackie McNamara will have demanded it.
Yeah, I think he would have done, Adam. I think the first half team talk would have turned a bit more character from his players, a bit more belief in that final third, trying to get his main players into good areas to try and get at this Maidstone back four. I need to test the keeper more in the second half as well.
Flying the pressure from Murphy. Whittle. Spent some time at the Glen Hoddle Academy in Spain. Alex Whittle on that left-hand side for York City. He's had 3 seasons in Scotland at Dunfermline. Greenhow, re-signed from Concord Rangers over the summer. Nice back heel to find Murphy, an arrival from Dover Athletic. Delivery into, seek out the goal scorer Bobby Joe Taylor.
Well, it's important there, the communication of Rooney, and Clapperson is there. Needs to open out a little bit more. Higgins needs to drop onto Fletcher, and Rooney needs to be talking to Clapperson, the right side of the centre half, to mark his man.
There really is a pressure, isn't there, Adam, on those 3 new centre halves for York City in that 3-man back line to develop an understanding quickly. And here towards Murphy. We'll get Adams here on that in a moment. This is Greenhow. They worked their way out of a tight area really well there. The cross to the back post was decent too. Is Taylor looking to arrive in on it?
Well, they're looking dangerous down these flanks. Got to show a little bit more desire to stop the cross coming in. To me, that's too easy. It's been a good reaction in the second half. from Maidstone so far, continuing what they did in that first half.
Loco's header. Helped on by Flisher. What a clever ball that was. It's Greenhow who's got Murphy arriving in the middle. And Flisher's on the edge of the area. Well, he saw his name in lights, I think, for a moment there, didn't he?
Yeah, he needs that bit of composure when he goes back to him. And Clipperson gets caught out of position. That puts Higgins into a position that he doesn't want to be in. Well laid back. He's wondering that the referee was in his way when he went to strike it. A good counter-attack play there from Maidstone. He just needs to take a little bit out of it there and hit the target.
She scored 7 league goals for Jay Saunders' side in the league below last season, including one in the playoff semi-finals against Truro. In fact, scored in both legs of that tie, actually. Fry under pressure from Murphy. Be a player determined to prove a point, I would think. Murphy, having been very much in and out of the side at Dover Athletic last season.
I think a lot of players see this now as a platform to progress and do well. It's a good signing that's come in. Certainly good balance on that wing as well, with Taylor on the other side.
I should say in fairness to Tom Murphy that he did have a hamstring injury the second game of last season, hampered him throughout the campaign, could never really get going. Hoping to do that at Maidstone United with a fresh start. Rooney. In the way of that was Tom Mills. Just been kept in though by Rooney, who brings Heslop into the game. Only headed back by the former West Ham United trainee Callum Driver. It's technically the first meeting between these clubs, but the former Maidstone United came up against York in the 91-92 season. Maidstone's last as a Football League club before they folded due to bankruptcy. The game was at Booth and Crescent, finished 1-1. The first fixture was won 1-0 by Maidstone, and the winner was scored by young Stuart Nethercott, who was on loan from Tottenham at the time. It was his first senior goal. It's a blast from the past, isn't it? Who I was speaking to before the game, the chief executive these days at Maidstone, but he's managed the club 3 times, was a player as a centre-half here as well. Whittle, who's done well to go on the outside there. The cross really didn't live up to the earlier wing play.
And when you get in that position, you do need that quality.
Whittle to have another go here. Has Connolly in support. Never stops moving, Connolly, a real live wire. Whittle. Connolly. Can they find that bit of quality in the final third, the Minster men? Heslop. Whittle. Does well to win the corner.
He done well there, Callum Driver, stopping that cross coming. It's important. Alex Whittle now plays on that front foot down that left-hand side.
Kukowski takes the corner short. Whittle with the crossover, but just too much on it.
I'm sure Jackie McNamara will be disappointed with the last 2 deliveries that have come in. Real quality. Plenty to think about for him today.
I know that he's very big on the mental side of the game, Jackie McNamara. Says that the way you cope with expectation really separates footballers, not necessarily all about the ability. Mental side the most important, he says.
I think he certainly takes that from his days at Celtic. It's the pressure that some players can cope with and some can't. You see Tranmere last season at home, they really struggled just because of the pressure of the home crowd every single time they played.
Heslop trying to win it back, as was Camjo. And we see the threat of Taylor on that left-hand side. It's nicely controlled by Driver. Sweeney manages to keep hold of it. The driver again. Tom Murphy. He fizzed in the cross towards Flisher. Left right was, you get it clear for York, but it's going to come straight back at them. Another ball into the penalty area. Higgins had it clear that time. Flinders comes and gathers. Tidy header by Locker, who's a promising first start here for Maidstone. I'd say he had quite a few offers in the National League. Kevin Locker wanted to work under Jay Saunders, had heard good things about his coaching, his management. On the ball again here, Locker.
Those two, Achapong and Locker, would be so important for Jay Saunders this season to progress on well.
Foul here by Higgins on Greenhout. We're going to see a yellow card here, I think.
Yeah, slight frustration there from the centre half. Greenhout did brilliantly to get on the half turn. Certainly warranted a yellow card there.
He was absolutely full of goals last season. Jack Higgins playing for Stalybridge. 12 as a centre half he scored, their top scorer, would you believe? He's giving away a free kick here, which will allow Maidstone to send plenty forward. Loco is one of them. Can Greenhout conjure up here? Conversation with Captain Flisher. That was what Flisher was telling him. Didn't quite work out though. Greenhout. He's wanting the ball, demanding the ball. He's picked out a great ball here for Taylor. You had Murphy in the middle, Flisher there too. Flinders had to get to that, and he did. That's really brave goalkeeper.
I think he just chose the wrong option there when he got into this position. It's a brilliant ball through from Greenhout behind Heslop. You can see Flisher there just on the edge of your screen. Maybe the cutback was on more than Murphy running across. But again, good play there from Maidstone.
Rooney's pass to Kamja. Lukowski. Kamja. Maybe just need to move it a bit more quickly here, York. Connolly. Rooney. Lukowski. Nice touch by Connolly. Promising this for York. Heslop to get ahead to it. Achapong unable to clear. Lukowski desperately trying to keep it going. Whittle's done brilliantly to keep that in. Good claim by Morgan.
Well, he's done brilliantly with Lee Morgan. One being called upon, especially with crosses.
Well, 2,500 just about inside the stadium, but they'll take a view from anywhere. Really is a big day in the history of Maidstone United Football Club, the new Maidstone United, formed in 1993. It's pretty important to York City as well, of course. Really needed to, or need to hit the ground running, having come down from League Two last season, as Greenhout is brought down here by Clapperson.
Too many times now at the front two of Maidstone, of Greenhout. And Flisher have won everything in that final third. They've been absolutely brilliant, led the line well. It's a really hot day, but their work rate has been absolutely superb so far.
Of Loco and Achapong being watched very closely. It's the quality of the delivery to be like here from Greenhout. Into a decent area, Clapperson with a good header for York, helped out by Higgins. Nice return ball to Murphy. Shot hit first time by Greenhow, that was really travelling. Rogers. York can't get it back. In towards Lockout. Flinders with the punch clear. And it's off target from Greenhow.
You could see what he was trying to do. Just be clever and put it over the goalkeeper, Scott Flinders. Many people would have gone for power. It's a great strike there. Blocked in the end. Just keeping these second balls alive. Fenwick there needs to be winning that challenge. It's just mounts and mounts of pressure coming on, but you could see what he was trying to do. It was then to think it over Scott Flinders when he come for the punch.
Knows he should have done better. Certainly a player of his quality, scored 13 league goals last season for Concord, Greenhow. Not enough on that from Locko, but he's helped out by Acheampong. It's a clever flick on, isn't it, by Mills? And it sets Bobby Joe Taylor on his way. Sweeney making a move into the area, brilliant from Taylor, who's losing confidence, but maybe he was a bit too overconfident there. Connolly. Maidstone getting numbers back, crossing towards Fenwick, who's taken it down! The whistle goes, the flag was up quickly there.
You're talking about a quality ball from Connolly. He got one there. Brilliantly weighted in. I mean, that is so tight. But again, when you're looking down the line, Adam, you should be staying onside when you can see everybody in front of you.
Signed on a free transfer from Hartlepool, Scott Fenwick. Has done well in pre-season, got 4 goals. Actually played at youth level for Newcastle, Middlesbrough and Sunderland. There's some going, isn't it?
We were trying to work that one out earlier over our cup of tea, Kevin Davis and Chris Hargreaves and myself. No, he's a good signing for Jackie McNamara. Surprised Hartlepool did let him go last season.
By the looks of the number on the back of his shirt, he's been getting some treatment up there as well. Well, Maidstone, still the better side, certainly in terms of this second half. They'll no doubt have taken encouragement from the fact that all 4 of last season's promoted sides managed to stay up. Our final day escapes for Boreham Wood and Guiseley. Barrow came 11th, Bromley ended at 14th. If they can get 3 points on the opening day, we'll be really encouraged at Maidstone. Initial target clearly survival, but you just get the feeling that privately they feel they can do better than that.
I think it's always good though when you start the season and you get early wins on the board. It's always nicer to look in the papers, seeing that you're 3rd and 4th early on in this season so far. Just wonder how long Maidstone can last with this way that they are working hard today. Got a small squad. See what happened to Braintree last season. They just ran out of legs towards the end. And the depth in squad that Jackie Martner has in T still suspended, that needs to come back. Brody as well.
Camden, still just the 1 goal in it. Fenwick to be the focal point of the York City attack. Taylor's pass back here to Morgan. Cushion pass by Fry to Whittle. Really good season at Braintree. Fry was not surprised to hear that there were several clubs interested in his services over the summer. Connolly looking to find Whittle. Put out of play by James Rogers. Heslop. And still. Clapperson. Now Rooney, who's been tracked by Mills. Kevin Locko with the clearance for Maidstone. One ball by Higgins, underneath it was Acheampong. Maidstone feel there was a foul there by Higgins on Flisher. No real complaint from the player himself though. Whittle. Heslop. And Rooney. Deflected off Tom Mills for a corner kick to York City.
And at the moment, Maidstone, when they haven't got the ball, they're really narrowing up in that midfield area. Jackie McNamara is screaming for more width from his side. That's when those long diagonals come into play.
Fry and Higgins both forward. A hurried clearance was necessary there for Maidstone United.
I think it's going to be a big 10 minutes now for Maidstone. They just seem to be dropping off the gas a little bit with that intensity that they were playing with in the first half. It's important now York start keeping the ball, moving it quickly, using that width early on as well.
Whittle. It was by Higgins, who was forward from the back. Oh, have to get back into position.
It's important that York get Kotowski onto the ball a little bit more. He's in that area where he's not really getting many touches where he can cause any problems. Where the Maidstone is dropping a little bit deeper, dropping narrower. He might have to come short for the ball and try and create something.
Kamja. Lukowski. Whittle. Aidan Connolly had pointed where he wanted it from Whittle, but he couldn't deliver the pass. Taylor is really having a fine game. Just overruns it on that occasion, but he does look a threat. There's a sense of anticipation when he gets on the ball. Lukowski, Connolly has Fenwick to his right. Connolly going for the return.
Slightly more encouraging there from York. Klukowski getting into a good position. And that's what you need, those three linking up well. That's what I was saying. I mean, this will come in time with Fenwick and Connolly. The more you play together, as you mentioned earlier, Adam, Toomey, partnerships have to be struck up very, very quickly. Can't afford to have 5, 6, 7, 8 games to try and find each other's strengths and weaknesses.
Well, let's get the thoughts of the Maidstone United manager Jay Saunders on the second half so far.
And just defending the lead, was that the message at half-time?
Yeah, definitely. I'm just a bit frustrated, to be honest. I thought we had a good couple of chances first 10 minutes of this half that we've not taken them. And obviously, it's always at 1-0, it's always a dodgy scoreline, obviously. So hopefully we can take one of them chances. But yeah, that's the frustrating thing for me.
Are you concerned that York maybe got into this game a little bit more in the second half?
Yeah, they have, and I think that's what I'm on about, looking after the ball a little bit better. We've got to make sure we do, and at times we have, but not well enough.
Thanks, Jay.
Thank you.
Well, York City still have a player down here, which is Scott Fenwick. It's just going on around it. Connolly. He's done well again here. Whittle with the ball over, and it's fallen here to Rooney. Just a bit more about York now, isn't there?
Yeah, it's just a little bit more intensity, a little bit more belief in that final third, which they were lacking so much in that first half. You can see Maidstone are now just slowly tiring that little bit with the efforts they put in for the first half and the beginning of the second half.
Maidstone have to try and keep it going. Oh, there's the header! It's the equaliser, and it's been scored by Clovis Kamja. Superbly taken, and Jackie McNamara's side are on terms.
Well, it's certainly a textbook header from Kamjo, and it's probably what York have deserved over the last 10 minutes. It's really poor marking. You're looking at Maidstone to be a lot tighter than what they are. He runs off Sweeney, and he gets a free header. No one's really marking in there. Loco maybe should have been marking in to start with. But Jay Saunders will be so disappointed that someone gets a free header like that. But Jackie McNamara will be delighted that his side's back in it.
A much needed water break being taken here by both sets of players. He was under contract at Forest Green last season, Clovis Camjo. They allowed him out on loan for the majority of the season when he was at Boreham Wood. Ended up coming back to Forest Green for the playoffs, didn't he? We saw him play as a substitute at Wembley, and his experience, lots of league experience, could be really important for York City this season.
I completely agree. You need National League experience to get promoted. Like any league, in the Football League, in the Premier League, you need that experience along the way. And he's going to be an important player for Jackie McNamara this season.
Well, Scott Fenwick, to be fair to him, really did try to run that injury off. Hasn't been able to. And we're seeing a change here by Maidstone United in reaction to the goal. Murphy coming off, and it's Kari Yanis who's been brought on to replace him. 24 years old, he arrived from Leatherhead in January of this year. Actually started out in the lower reaches of French football at Beauvais. But it's all square at the Gallagher Stadium with 20 minutes to go. It really should be a fascinating final 20, all to play for.
I think it's a substitution that needed to be made by Jay Saunders. I think just getting a little bit more joy down that flanks.
Karagiannis, first involvement for him, looks to head for the byline.
It's an important period now for Maidstone. They don't lose their composure. Try and keep on that front foot where and if they can. Game management now for these last 20 minutes is still very high to see in there with the drinks break as well. Can't let that goal affect this performance so far because they've been excellent in every single area. Unfortunately, when you come up against quality like York, you can never really switch off.
Let's hear what Jackie McNamara has made of that equalising goal. He's talking to Natalie.
Well, Jackie, you got the equaliser you desperately needed there. Are you happy with the response in the second half?
We're starting to pass the ball a bit now. You know, the surface there dictates that, but first half everything we're doing was too slow and pedestrian. It's just so important we get higher up the back, especially with a back three. It allows a wing back to get forward. At times we've been too deep there, but you see the distance there, the game's starting to get stretched now, so hopefully we'll start picking them off.
Thanks, Jackie.
Here's Rooney on the charge. Fenwick waiting in the middle. And they're really starting to regain confidence here at York City and looking a threat.
We're talking about playing against part-time sides. That fitness in the last 20 minutes is really going to come into play. Fullbacks are playing so much higher in this second half. The only real option that Rooney had was to go for goal. He's given a corner, and it should be a goal kick.
It comes, once more they look a threat from the set piece, don't they? Real anguish on the face of Fenwick.
It's a good opportunity there. Gets a good head up. Just not getting tight enough at the moment, Maidstone. Tom Mills was marking him, not tight enough.
Looks though the issue here for the Maidstone captain Flisher is cramp. They really have already put so much into this game, but as you've been saying, Adam, and it's worth highlighting again, the part-time, full-time scenario here. I mean, it's a great weekend of action on BT Sport. Also the opening weekend in the Ladbrokes Premiership, and we bring you St Johnstone against Aberdeen. Their 4 league meetings last season produced 18 goals. West Ham welcome the Italian champions Juventus to the Olympic Stadium tomorrow. And available in 4K via BT Sport UHD, as is the Community Shield, live from Wembley, Leicester City against Manchester United. Paxman brought on here by Jay Saunders. Sweeney is the player withdrawn, signed from Witham in July of 2015. Jack Paxman really turning to his bench now. Jay Saunders, as we were just mentioning, Adam, he'll be thinking about the fitness issue, how many minutes are in the legs, particularly after pre-season. Dumaka also about to be brought on. He has worked tirelessly.
Yeah, he has. He's been absolutely superb today, Alex Flisher. Never easy playing that lone striker role on your own, but he's linked up brilliantly with Ben Greenhout. Maybe we should have had a goal in the second half.
Dumaka signs from Grays Athletic on a free in February, scored 6 goals in his 15 league games last season and of course got that dramatic injury time equaliser in extra time in the playoff against Ebbsfleet United last season. Without that goal, they wouldn't be here. Simple as that. Clearance by Fry. Here's York's goal scorer, Kamja. Locko. Paxman beaten to it by Kamja. Heslop. Paxman trying to win it back, but unfairly. Free kick to York, which they're keen to take quickly. Klukowski with the layoff to Kamja. This is Whittle. Klukowski. Heslop with a bit of space to work with here and looks to drive it towards goal. Just bounced in front of the goalkeeper, Morgan.
This is important now that Maidstone don't lose their shape in the middle of that midfield.
And just running across the bottom of your screen, all today's 3 o'clock kickoffs in the National League. Boreham Wood against Forest Green, one that perhaps stands out. Forest Green, the favourites with many bookmakers to win the league. Dagenham and Redbridge, who came down from League 2 with York, start home against Southport. Sutton United and Solihull Moors meet as well, of course, the 2 6th-tier champions last season. We should remind you as well that the National League highlights programme is at 10 o'clock on BT Sport tomorrow night. We'll bring you every goal from all of those games. Greenhow. He's done well here. He's brought Paxman into play. Karagiannis now, another one of the substitutes.
There's 2 opportunities earlier. Greenhouse certainly to have a shot, then on to Paxman as well.
Driver. Wanted the return ball there off Karagiannis. Throw-in has gone York City's way. Well, Pep Guardiola's first competitive match in charge of Manchester City kicks off our live Premier League coverage next Saturday. David Moyes' Sunderland the opposition. And as I was just saying, just another reminder, the National League highlights programme tomorrow at 10 o'clock. That's on BT Sport 1. A yellow card here for Callum Driver, presumably for dissent. Actually relegated from the National League, Callum Driver, with Dartford back in the 2014-15 season. 12 years as a youngster with West Ham. Clapperson with the header. Greenhow, in from range. To take the goalkeeper by surprise. Flinders maybe saw him slightly off his line.
He's certainly got a good strike on him. 13 goals last season. He knows where the back of the net is.
Rooney. Klukowski making a run into the middle. It's over the head of Fenwick.
Well, he's been excellent all through this game so far. Ben Greenhow. Oh, why not have an attempt from there?
Promising start to life in the National League for Ben Greenhow. It's his 50th Maidstone appearance. Rooney for York. There was a late challenge there. It was by Dumaka. The referee shows a yellow card here to the substitute. It was really late there on Rooney. I have to say, on first sight, it looked pretty dangerous, the challenge.
It did look pretty high. It's right behind that one.
Well, he's put his yellow card away here. He's got a spare one out, it would seem. I did think for a moment there that he might have changed his mind and it could be red, but it is yellow for Dumaka.
You want to see your forward man closing down all the time. But you see those so many times, Adam. Forward coming across the fullback. Looking at it again, it'd have been harsh to see a straight red for that, but you did see a few of the York players straight round the referee, trying to get in his ear.
Just over 10 minutes to go. As Rooney back to his feet, thankfully. Flinders with the clearance. Headed by Locker. And in turn, Kamja. Paxman gives it away here to Heslop. Kamjo. Connolly. 2 goals in pre-season, Aidan Connolly. Some impressive performances, but dispossessed there. Not quite the same intensity, understandably, for Maidstone right now. Really got to dig deep in the final 10 minutes.
They do, it's a big 10 minutes. Poor Maidstone really played on the front foot in the first half. They've lost the long throw now of Fisher since he's gone off.
Greenhall. Some York appeals for handball there, but Greenhall goes on. He's got Dumaka to his left, Karayanis the opposite side. Just maybe a lack of communication there, because that was an opportunity for Maidstone United.
York certainly throwing bodies forward, leaving themselves 3-on-3 at the back.
Jay Saunders, what a job he's done here. When they were appointed, he was appointed, the Stones were bottom of the Ryman Premier. He's gone on to achieve 3 promotions in 4 seasons. It is some record. I asked him about whether he's had interest from other clubs higher up in the Football League, and he said, why would I want to leave? We just keep getting promoted.
Oh, he's done a fantastic job here, and certainly in his managerial career, to test himself now in the National League. I certainly enjoy the challenge.
That's brilliantly taken down by Karayanis. Diving header clear by Higgins. Paxman able to get on the ball and turn, but showed far too much of it to Clovis Kamjo. He's been pretty effective in that central midfield area for York City and got the goal that put the Minstermen on level terms. Taylor. Movement here from Karayanis, the opposite side, Dumaka, and Greenhall gets on the ball. Looking for the early cross towards Karayanis, good claim by Flinders.
That's a good take there from Scott Flinders. Just seeing Ben Greenhall just limping a little bit.
York City aiming to bounce straight back to the Football League, a feat achieved by both Bristol Rovers and Cheltenham Town in the last 2 seasons. There's proof, of course, that it can be done, despite there only being 1 automatic promotion slot. Certainly looked a better side in this second half, York City.
Listen, it's not easy coming away from home, first game of the season. Expectations on you. Brand new squad coming along, not only playing on a 3G pitch as well. Jackie McNamara will be pleased with his second half performance especially.
Whittle's done well here, and the referee allowed the advantage, and that was fizzing, wasn't it?
A big difference second half now. The 2 wing backs, Rooney and Whittle, are getting forward a lot more. Back 3 of York are playing a lot higher. It's certainly coming into good effect. They needed to do more of this in the first half, using their wing backs to try and get on as much as possible.
I did wonder when this change would happen. It's going to be up top for York City. Fenwick being replaced here by Richard Brodie. He's something of a returning hero, really. Formerly of York City. He scored 2 minutes into his first debut at York back in 2007. He was the National League Player of the Year in the 2009, 10 season, 26 goals in 40 league appearances. And his experience at this level could be really key. He's twice won the National League title with Crawley in 2011 and Fleetwood in 2012.
Certainly experience now coming into these last 6 minutes are going to be important. Maidstone, they're just going to drop off a little bit, and this is where Brodie can come into play. Trying to bring Connolly in as well. Klukowski. It's important now Maidstone keep their concentration.
York here, remember, looking for their first away win since September last year. Only won once on their travels in League Two last season. Only one for tennis. The football's not been bad today at all. Great start to the National League season. And it's still anyone's to win this between Maidstone United and York City. Inside the final 5 minutes, Karayanis, urged forward by the crowd. He has Dumaka in the middle. 2 defenders for attention. Brings Driver into play. Paxman's calling for it. It's a nice turn by Dumaka. Good centre-forward play initially, but the shot dragged wide.
He went for the wrong angle, the wrong corner. Good ball into him. Try and get that shot onto Scott Flinders. Good movement in the 18-yard box. Tries to go for that near post, snatches at it.
Brodie got something on it. Connolly just beaten to it there by Tom Mills. Can ill afford Maidstone to give York City the ball back as cheaply as that, really. It's Rooney who will take the throw in here. He's got some really good distance on that. It evades everybody, and he's back with Morgan, whose distribution is great there. He set Karayanis on his way. Paxman with the crossfield pass, seeking out Taylor. He's found him well. He's got the left back Mills in support. Plenty back here for York City. Dumaka with the layoff, that's brilliantly done. And the chance to shoot, saved well by Flinders.
That's a really important hand, a good save there from Flinders. But equally brilliant skill there from Paxman. Drags it over brilliantly. Just there to go past Clapperson. Maybe chose the wrong angle to try and beat Flinders at his near post. But a good save there from the York keeper.
Made a difference since he's come on. Jack Paxman, 22 years old, former Southend youngster. Actually impressed Jay Saunders playing for against Maidstone for Witham last year. But Rooney, who had that hefty challenge off Dumaka a little while ago, I wonder if he's still feeling the after effects of that. Certainly he's going to require some treatment. Just over 2 minutes of normal time remaining here at the Gallagher Stadium. Well, maybe it was just a bit of cramp, which I suppose in a way is good news.
Unfortunately, the challenge with Dumaka hasn't caused a serious injury, but cramp certainly creeping in there.
He's going to have to go off here, Rooney, as he was just told there by the referee, David Rock. We're going to see a substitution by York City. Josh Robinson brought on here, number 15, replacing Rooney. Just over a minute to go then. There will be undoubtedly a fair bit of added time. We've seen a few stoppages. We're having a chat here with Dumaka and Higgins. So vitally important that York City are switched on here, having worked hard to get themselves back in the game. The equaliser from a set piece themselves through Clovis Camjo on his debut. It's taken an age for us to get this corner kick taken, but eventually in it comes. The referee's given the free kick York City's way.
Well, certainly everybody's wrestling each other. Camjo and Mills. 6 on half a dozen on the other for me.
I have to say the fixture computer's not handed Maidstone the easiest of starts to life in the National League. Their opening game at home to a club who were playing 2 leagues above them last season, then back-to-back away matches at Aldershot and Chester. The next home game against one of last season's playoff semi-finalist Braintree, but they're looking to finish this game with a flurry. 4 minutes to be added on. We're into it now. Karayanis with the cross. Dumaka got his head to it. It will be a goal kick.
Well, he's done well since he's come on. Karayanis down that right-hand side is what Jay Saunders would have needed from his bench when he brings these substitutes on with his small squads. Every player has to step up every single game.
Back-to-back home games now, by the way, for York. Firstly against Macclesfield this coming midweek. And it's Boreham Wood who visit Bootham Crescent as Klukowski is withdrawn here by Jackie McNamara for the closing stages. And it's Kane Felix who's coming on here, signed from Boston United. Just until recently he's been working at a shampoo factory. Got a call from his mum while he was at work. She said, "Rush home, I've got some news for you." He did just that. He said, "I shook off my steel toe cap boots and got told that York City wanted to sign me on a 2-year deal." He said it was like a dream come true to become a pro.
I'm sure Chris Hargreaves will be snapping him up for a couple of bottles of shampoo.
Here's Greenhow. Could there yet be a winner in this game? He's got Karayanis arriving in the middle. He had Taylor there as well. Heslop, he's looking for Connolly. He's found Connolly. It's a chance for York City. And Brodie, can he find the angle? It's always getting narrower and narrower, and it's behind for a corner kick.
It's great defending there from Callum Driver. Getting good diagonal into Connolly, trying to create something for himself.
2 minutes to go. Connolly prevented from taking the corner. Richard Brodie being watched very closely indeed there. Determined to try and make an impression. The substitute and the referee here isn't going to let this go without having a word.
He's certainly come on, Brodie, since he's come on. He's tried to get the away fans going, be a nuisance, be strong.
You can understand Rodgers watching him closely, but perhaps not quite that close. In comes the corner, bubbling about in there, and finally Lee Worgan can bring it under his spell. Well, he was clearly frustrated with that first half, Adam Jackie McNamara. What do you think he'll have made of the second 45?
Well, I think they played with a little bit more confidence. Certainly the pitch made a massive difference in the first half, but their desire to get on the ball and pass the ball forwards wasn't there. But they've certainly come into their own in this second half and finished off very, very strongly.
Whittle, Felix. A wide player with plenty of tricks up his sleeve. Felix. And he's given that away. And it's Greenhow who's got Taylor to his left. He goes right instead to Karayanis. Last minute of added time. It's Maidstone United on the attack with Paxman. Lost a bit of the momentum there, Maidstone, but they retain possession as the shot's driven in. What an effort that was by Tom Mills. Needed saving too by Flinders.
It was a really poor pass from Kane Felix that starts the counter-attack off. Comes out to Tom Mills. I think Scott Flynn's always had that cover, but needed to make sure to tip that round the post.
Likely to be the last opportunity of the game, this. Camjo got ahead to it. There is the full-time whistle. All square on the opening day between Maidstone United and York City. 2 leagues apart this time last year, but nothing to separate them this afternoon. An early point in the right direction. Maidstone with a solid start to life in the National League. It was Clovis Camjo who got York City on level terms in the second half. You'd have to say a tricky opening fixture for York, who can head back north with a point on which to build. There's a long and challenging campaign ahead for both of these sides. And it finishes here at the Gallagher Stadium. Maidstone United 1, York City 1. It's Victor Natalie who's down on the pitch.
Well, Clovis, you scored an important goal at the end of the season for Bournemouth last year and rescued a point today. How important was that?
It was a good point. I mean, 1-0 is not a bad result. First half we didn't play particularly well, but we come out second half and we gave it a go. I mean, we know we were better than that, but it's just the start of the season, so we're happy with the point.
How much pressure, or had you felt any kind of pressure at all coming into this game? A relegated team going up against a promoted team. Had you felt that at all coming into today?
Yeah, we knew that they'll be on it, because obviously they're coming from Conference South. So, and the one thing as well is the pitch. We knew it's Astro, it's new to us, and they're used to it. They've been playing on it, so we knew they had that advantage. But at the end of the day, it's a football match, 11v11, and as I said, the point is not a bad result. We're happy with the point, yeah.
You're one of 19 new players. How different, how difficult has that been for you all to gel together and work as a team straight away?
To be fair, the team spirit is really good. I mean, 19 new players, everyone seems to get along with everyone. You know, the team spirit is good in the camp. I mean, we're looking forward to a good season with the new team, yeah.
Overall, happy with the point to go back to York with?
Yeah, overall we're happy with the point. I mean, you're always kind of disappointed because you want to win your first game, but a point is not bad.
Clovis, thank you very much for joining us. We'll let you go back to the team. After the break, we're going to be getting all the reaction and analysis. Don't forget, though, tomorrow we've got an international friendly on BT Sport. It is West Ham against Juventus. That is at 12:30 on BT Sport 2. And after that, it is the FA Community Shield. The Premier League winners Leicester City against the FA Cup winners Manchester United. That from 3:15 on BT Sport 2 tomorrow. All the reaction and analysis to this game after the break. Welcome back to the Gallagher Stadium. So a draw to kickstart the National League season and life in the 5th tier of football for Maidstone and for York. A goal either side of the break. Bobby Joe Taylor getting things started for Maidstone. Clovis Camjo with an important equaliser and an important point to go back to York with. Delighted to have Jay Saunders joined us along with Kevin Davis and Chris Hargreaves. Jay, your chief executive in his programme notes said buckle up and be patient, but that was a promising start, wasn't it?
I think so, yeah. We'll definitely take the positives out of it. Disappointing, obviously, not to come away with the 3 points. I think we had enough chances to sort of kill the game off. We didn't do that, and against some of the teams in this league, you're going to get punished, especially set pieces.
Were there any nerves coming into this game?
A little bit. I think we can play better than that. I think we've got a lot more lads that are more comfortable on the ball than what they showed at times today, and I think, to be honest, that was probably our downfall, really, was that we didn't keep the ball well enough at times.
Chris, we said, though, a lot of people would have watched the game and been impressed with what Maidstone did today.
Very impressed. You always want more as a manager, Jay, don't you? And I know that. I know what you're going through there. But I thought you were excellent. I thought second half, York had to come out a little bit more because they needed to score. Maybe the heat, it's such a hot day. It's incredible what their players have had to suffer today. Maybe they dropped off a little bit, but I thought it was a great performance. Really, really good.
You were cautious, of course, when I spoke to you last about York coming back into the game, weren't you, in that second half? Does fitness in terms of a full-time against part-time play any kind of part in that?
I suppose it does. Certainly last 15 minutes of each half. But I thought we came out second half and started well for the first 10 minutes, and that's my biggest disappointment. I thought we had a couple of good chances, didn't take them. And at that point, you kind of, at 1-0, you're always worried that they're going to get that one chance. And to be fair, it's sloppy on our part for their equaliser, but I can't be too hard on the lads. They give us everything today, and as I say, I still think we can play better, and there's more to come from us, but we'll take the point and move on.
I say that there were still chances at the end. They were playing with a lot of confidence, weren't they, Kevin?
Yeah, as Chris said, I thought the performance overall was very good. Created the better chances. I think your goalkeeper hardly had a shot to save, really. Probably the only shot on target he scored from, so I can understand your frustration. I can sense that, but I think you take the positives. Got a point on the board. It's a new league. Good performance. Created lots of chances that can only get better for you, I think.
Well, Kevin, let's start things off then. And we'd spoken about Bobby Joe Taylor just before the game, and he got Maidstone off to the good start.
Yeah, I think you see another ball coming in the box there. They put a bit of under pressure in the bombardment the first 20-25 minutes, picking up the second ball. It was a lovely 1-2 with Sweeney there, and a lovely hard shot, low and hard across goal. And I think see the Yorks, good punch from the goalkeeper there, clears the box, but he's slow to get out. There's a couple of players on the floor there. Lovely 1-2. It's a tight angle, so it's a really good finish from there. One
of your 5 new players. What was it in him that you saw to entice him to Maidstone?
Bobby's one of them. He's got that in his locker, to be honest, and he's a good player for us. I thought we had a chance just after that. He could have done the same again, and he sort of crossed it towards the back post. It was good link-up play. We felt that if we could get things in the box, we could cause a few problems, which was why we, as much as we could, we used the throw. We put crosses in the box, tried to ask some questions, and we've recycled it well. And in the second phase, got a good goal. But I think we could have done that a little bit more.
We said that though, didn't we, Chris, that Maidstone had caused York a lot of problems throughout the game?
Yeah, there was a bit of apprehension in York's play. I don't think they truly got hold of the surface until second half. Perhaps when you dropped off a little bit, maybe they got a bit more confidence. But you don't forget, you had to make some changes as well. I thought Alex Flisher was excellent. I thought he was really, really good until obviously he had to come off through injury. It's just a shame he couldn't be on the end of his long throws. But he was really good, and he embodied the spirit of your team today, I thought. And Ben Greenlow was excellent as well.
Yeah, they're lads that, as I say, Flisher, it was a bit of cramp. He hasn't been at full fitness. He had an operation, was out for 10 months. So he's one of them that I think will get stronger as the season goes on.
Jay, of course, weren't happy with the equaliser. Chris, Clovis Camjo rescuing the point for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's frustrating as a manager because you can train all week, you can do all the shape you like in the world, but if one man doesn't track another man or he loses him, it's a killer, and that's what happened. I mean, it's a team game, and he'll pick himself up, Sweeney, and get on with it next week, but you've just got to stay with your man. You've got to grip him and not let hold of him. And that's the only way to mark. It's a good header, but very disappointing that set piece for all your hard work's been undone by that.
Yeah, that's the disappointment in there, to be honest, and Sweeney's has held his hands up straight away. It's not a bad bit of movement from the lad, but the way we mark, we like to sort of, they've got their men, they know it before the game, and it's disappointing, but like I say, for long periods, I think other than that, I don't think Lee's had too much to deal with. So frustrating, but we'll have to move on.
There were other chances which we're going to take a look at, and Chris, you thought Loco perhaps should have scored his.
Well, I'm sure Jay thinks he should, but he's a defender, so this is the first one, isn't it? This is the first one for Flisher. Yeah, I think it's good defending, puts him off in the end. We felt he just got in there, Kev, didn't we, the defender?
Yeah, it's all about the delivery, and it's a great crossing, and again another ball in the box, goalkeeper struggling to deal with it, and they keep the ball alive. They're on the front foot and probably should have scored again.
Just
so that's your frustration, is he didn't get that second goal.
I think
really.
If that falls on Loco's left foot, he's probably a bit more confident. He's come on his right foot, and other than that, he's had a great game, so he's done what we've asked of him the other end. But I think this was the one second half. We've got to be hitting target from things like this.
He just looked round at the referee, didn't he?
Yeah, Flisher's one of them as well, that he normally from that area is deadly, and his complaint was the referee just ran across his path, which didn't help.
Great save there as well. Flinders, I thought he did well on the day. It was a really good save, that, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Pack's a good little run into the box, but actually it's more frustrating the more chances I see.
Yeah, it should encourage you. I mean, you didn't knock off at all about fitness levels. This is you in the last 5 or 10 minutes looking to go and try and win the game. So, again, I know you're disappointed with the draw, but there's loads of positives to take from that performance, I think.
Yeah, no, there is massively. It's just, I think when you look at the chance you've conceded, you're always going to be disappointed. But in general, no, when you see the chances we had, we can work on that and hopefully come good.
So confidence going forward into the next game then?
Yeah, all the shot Tuesday night. It's a tough trip away, but we'll get the lads prepared. Obviously, we won't see them till Tuesday, so we'll make sure that they look after themselves and everyone's ready to go.
Jake, thank you very much for joining us. Let's hear from York City manager then, Jackie McNamara. He's with Adam Somerton.
Jackie, would you view this as a good point?
Yeah, I think after the first half, I thought it took us about 25 minutes to come to grips with things, bring a lot of things on ourselves, and they put us under a lot of pressure with throw-ins, long throw-ins into the box, corners, and and I thought we dealt with it quite well at that point. But disappointed with the goal we lost. We just switched off, and a 1-2 get in, and the lads finished it well, to be fair to them. But I thought as the game went on, it started to stretch. Then I thought our passing got a little bit better, but still a lot we can improve on.
I know from what you said during the first half that you weren't too pleased at the time, but did you see the improvement that you wanted in the second 45?
Yeah, but there's still a long way to go till we're happy. I think, I thought at times there our three were far too deep, which is allowing the allowing their lads to pick it up in different areas and bringing our wing backs far too deep at times there. But you see in the last little bits there when it starts to stretch, you know, we talk about before the game how important it was to not give anything away. But I'm pleased with the fight back we had. You know, we had chances in there to maybe get a winner in the end. But you know, I think if a result, a draw is a fair result in the end.
Completely new starting 11 from the final day of last season. Is it important that people have patience with your side this season, allow them the time to gel?
Of course, yeah. I mean, it's 5 weeks they've been together, but I'm pleased with their team spirit, how they help each other, even after the game. There, you know, it's, as I said, this is a difficult place to come. A lot of teams will come here and find it tough. As I said, it's quite narrow, the pitch. Obviously, the surface is slightly different from what everybody's used to. But you know, they make you defend, and you know, I'm pleased to get a point in the end. And a nice finish by Clovis Camgio as well. Yes. I do feel we've got a good height advantage over certain teams this season. I think it's important we use that properly. The deliveries are good. You know, there's a few other opportunities we nearly scored with today. A couple just near misses, but we'll improve and we'll get stronger as well. Thanks for your time, Jackie. Thank you.
Jackie McNamara talking to Adam Summerton there, and I suppose if they were going to win the game, the best chances came to Fenwick, didn't they?
Yeah, they did, and you know, as much as we think they played well, I can understand the manager's frustration, because with the amount of chances and superiority they had, Maidstone, they should have won the game. There's no doubt about it, and 3 points on the board would have been excellent. You can see the relief in Jackie McNamara there with the point, because the pressure is on his shoulders. It's a big club, York, for that division. Spoke to Richie Creswell, who was at the club, and he said fantastic facilities, big fan base, their expectation levels are high, so a point is good for him, but they need more.
We saw how Tranmere, their first season in the National League, of course, last year, and it was a difficult start for them, wasn't it? And a whole new rebuilding of the team as well. It might take a little bit of time.
Absolutely, we've seen it, haven't we? Gary Johnson, very successful with Cheltenham, and he did just that. He had a complete clear out, and it does take time. You can't argue with the fighting spirit. They've got a point, but maybe it was more luck than judgment. I think the game should have been out of sight before that.
We talked a lot before the game about the pitch. Was there any evidence that you saw that perhaps caught maybe the York players out a little bit? We talked about how the ball bounces maybe differently, or when you're passing the ball, it's different on the 3G.
Yeah, we spoke before the game. They were prepared. They had the friendly last week. They'd been training on this all week to try and get used to the surface, and it does take some getting used to. I think I played on one a couple of weeks ago, and you really have to keep your eye on the ball, the bounce. You're not sure, it's not got that natural spin on the ball, so you're constantly adjusting yourself. I think there is certainly an advantage for the players playing on this week in, week out for the home team. There's no question about that. So I think bearing that in mind, you have to give Jackie McNamara and his team a lot of credit for coming here, because they were under a lot of pressure and they stood up to it, and they'll be pleased with that.
Yeah. In terms of Maidstone, this certainly seems like a club in the ascendancy. The way they've come up the leagues, they're well supported, they've got investment, and clearly an ambitious manager.
Yeah, that's right. We've had a few of these stadiums last season, haven't we, where you see clubs that are so well run. They're a professional part-time outfit, and Jay's another up-and-coming manager that is ambitious. It was interesting to speak to him before the game, because his aspirations have got to be promoted. But then that brings with it a whole host of problems. For now, though, he's just got to solidify in this league, and I think judging on today's performance, really impressed both of us. I think they'll be fine.
We've not spoken a great deal about it, and I'm sure we will do throughout the season, but the whole change in the transfer system for this league as well could have a huge impact. And Jay has said he's perhaps not sure about one or two positions. He could quite easily bring a few more personnel in.
Yeah, I don't know what Kev's viewpoints are on it. Personally, I think that we should be going back more to, you've got your squad, deal with it, and it is what it is, because I think there's no uncertainty. Jay said before the game it helps him, and it can help clubs, don't get me wrong, but there can't be a whole host of loan players. There has to be some consistency.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. I think you like to get your squad sorted out, and I think for the terms of the squad, you like to know when your squad's settled, everyone's in it together, you can go for the next 3 or 4 months to the next window. But as long as it's a level playing ground for me, I don't mind it too much.
Chris Hargreaves, Kevin Davis, thank you very much indeed for being with us this afternoon. So the start of the National League underway. Don't forget, we've got the Vanarama National League highlight show tomorrow at 10 o'clock. It's a point even here for Maidstone against York. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again next time.